views on it. When it comes to
Very
deals, there
big
haven't
company.
been many. It's an important company, and it conceivably is an important company as well in the geopolitical realm in terms of relations.
$8.9 billion, right?
Yes, but also relationship between Japan and the United States. I mention it because on Friday in a court filing, and then to be followed up by this filing we got in the SEC, they said on March 14th, so just the other day, the Department of Justice filed a motion to extend the briefing deadlines in the CFIUS litigation by 21 days. All right, that's kind of interesting because that was supposed to end on April 24th. Now it's been postponed or pushed to the May 12th. But what follows is really what's important here and what has the stock up again. We want to try and allow the government to complete its ongoing discussion with the parties regarding the merger, with the goal of eliminating the need for resolving any CFIUS litigation. What does that mean? Well, it means to many that they're trying to figure out a way to make this deal happen. Now, what does that look like? We don't know. We do know Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, as I understand it at least, deeply involved in these conversations with representatives of Nippon Steel who were in town in Washington, I'm told, a lot of last week in various meetings. And so this continues, Jim. And there are those who are obviously hopeful that you're going to get the full deal at 55 or at least some semblance of that deal. You know, the president has said a few different things around full ownership or not, but they're clearly negotiating. They're clearly trying to work on getting something done so that this litigation will go away. And therefore, and I would point out, by the way, once they get something done, it can be closed in 3 days. I mean, done.
But David, Lorenzo Gonsalves, who actually represents the U.S. industry in steel, would tell you that Nippon Steel has historically been dumping in our country at the behest of the Japanese government and is therefore one of the companies that will be targeted by President Trump to not be able to get away with this. This would be a shock. And I think that the DOJ, as much as it's kind of more in sync than ever with, say, the executive branch, they ought to rethink this because I think that this is anti-our steel business because the Nippon Steel has historically not been a good actor when it comes to dumping.
That is what Gonsalves says. And the question is how much influence he will have and what this, but the filing says what it's, the people saw this on Friday, and obviously the language is quite clear. They are clearly trying, they are having discussions designed to figure this out. And figuring it out would seem to mean some sort of a deal in which Nippon obviously takes, if it's not a full purchase, a very significant stake. We don't know. I don't know, Jim. But we're going to monitor it as this week and the couple of weeks ahead go by. Before we go,
front and center with tariffs. Front and center with tariffs.
Exactly, and the relationship with Japan, even the defense relationship. Before we get to a quick bond report, Jim, I did want to point out the Klarna IPO